Okay, we're going to all do a very simple puzzle, and it's not going to be the same size as what the Hub Print puzzle is, but it gives us a little bit of an overview of Canva. So first of all, you're going into Hub Canva from the Hub email, and I am going to, I don't know if you just saw what I just did, but basically what I did is I went over here to create. And then up here for this practice exercise, I have Instagram Square. So here I am, and I'm clicking in here, and I have a square. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I've already uploaded my two photos I uploaded them to the drive, and now I have downloaded them here on the computer. So I have uploaded my two photos. Here they are, one and two. And I'm in the Hub Canva, which is important because there is a brand kit here. So make sure that you are in print brand. So not multimedia, not Citrus Circuits, but print brand. Okay. So that's where I'm at right now. And the first thing I'm going to do is go over here to my uploads. If you haven't done this, you upload files, they come into here. And so upload files. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting two pictures over here. So when I put in a picture and I click on it, there are kind of two things. This right here rotates the picture. So I want to rotate it 90 degrees. I like that it tells me 90 degrees so I don't screw up with it. And then I want my pictures to be pretty similar in size. So I'm going to do it like that. Okay. So there's my picture. I'm going to put that kind of over here. I think I'm probably going to make it a little bit smaller. This is probably not the best having square for this one, but it helps us kind of figure some things out. So that's my first picture. And then my second picture is going to be this one. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to rotate it until it's 90 degrees. I'm checking out on the screen. You see the 90 degrees, so I know it's exactly alike. And I'm going to um, do it kind of the same thing. Um, and I'm going to kind of eyeball it because I want it to, kind of have the same, I want to be taking a picture of the same thing. Okay. And I need to have it there. And then that's what that looks like. Okay, so that's what that picture looks like. This one, I think I need to make quite a bit smaller to make it match. And then I just kind of want to eyeball it and make sure that I have this line on the table the same. I have about the same. Doesn't have to be perfect, but pretty close. Okay, so that's what I've got. I've got my two pictures here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want to put a shadow behind these pictures. So I'm going to put them here. And you know what? I might make these a little smaller. And I want to make sure they're the exact same size. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to make that the same size as that. Okay. So that's what I have. I have this one here. And then I'm going to put a box behind it. I'm also can use my arrows to make kind of small. If I click on it and then I use my arrows, it will slightly go up. So that's what I'm going to do there. And then I'm going to do something kind of similar here. Okay, so I have my photos here. I'm going to go over here to my elements and I'm going to find a square. And I clicked on the square, so then the square went over here. So I'm going to put that square kind of here. I'm going to kind of make it a little bit lower. Okay. And then I want that square. This is going to be behind my picture, but I'm going to kind of look at it first. There it is. And here's the color that I want. Okay, so I don't want brown. I'm going to click over here, and here it's brown. I'm going to click on it. And here I am. I'm in the print brand kit. Okay. And my brand color, I'm going to do dark blue. Okay. So this is in front. So I want to go over here to where it says position, and I want to go to back. Okay. So there's my like little shadow. Okay. So now I'm going to copy it, Control C, and then I'm going to do Control V, and I'm going to do the same thing down here where I'm going to put it on top of this, and then I'm going to go position, and I'm going to go to back. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of look at it and see, is it about the same? I think that there's a little less space here than there is here for the shadow, so I'm going to put that down. So I think that looks similar. Okay. So let's say I want this. There's a little more white space there than there is white space at the end. So what I'm going to do is click a bounding box. So I just clicked down and did that. And I'm going to group these. And now if I move one, it'll move everything. So I'm going to move this up. And I like the way that looks better. Okay. So now I'm going to do text. And what I'm really keeping in track of is I'm kind of centering, I'm keeping things neat, I'm keeping things using the brand colors, etc. So I'm going to come into here to text, and I'm going to say, I want this heading. So I clicked on that and it immediately came over here. Okay. Now look, there's two things under. One is this four-way arrow, and that is a move box, a move tool. And then I have this rotate tool. But what I want to do is I want to move it. So I'm going to move it here. And I'm going to put it there. And I'm going to say, what's and I'm actually going to do 3 different text boxes because I want these to each be a different size, and everything in a text box has to be the same size. And this right here, just so you know, is DM Serif Display, and that happens to be the font that we're using here. Okay, so that's why that's that way. Okay, so now I am going back to text and I'm adding another text box. So I'm going to use the move box to bring it here. And then I'm going to add another text box and use the text box to bring it here. And then I'm going to add another text box and I'm going to use the text box to bring it here. Okay. So this is going to be what's, you know what? I want to go ahead and make that size. And I'm going to click on that and then I'm going to delete it. Okay. So I have these 3 things. I have what's and I have heading, and then I have heading here. So I'm going to say what's, and I'm going to do what's different at, and this one is going to be a question mark. Okay. And then this one is going to be some instructions, and it's going to say, find 6 differences between the top photo and the bottom. Okay. And I wanted to just kind of tell you some stuff. So usually in design, we don't want a lot of fonts. What we want to do is take the font that we have and do different things with it. So all caps, colors, bold, and italic, do things within that. And this default one doesn't have a lot of choices. It does have italic, so I just put it in italic, which is nice. So I'm going to put that in. And I'm going to click on this And I'm going to kind of move that over. I want this centered, so I'm going to put that down here. And then I've got here, I want this centered too. And the lines, they kind of help me center it. It tells me where the center is. I see those little red lines that come in, so that's helpful. And then I've got this what's different. I'm going to put that right there too. Okay. So I'm going to make all of these quite a bit bigger. So I'm going to just make this what's, and then I'm going to put this down here, put this down here. I'm going to take that different and make it as big as I can without going to the edges. I want to keep a margin. And I'm going to change the text color. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go to my brand color and I'm making all of the kind of different things. You know what? Maybe I'll do a yellow here, actually. What's different? Okay. And then I'm going to do this question mark. And I'm going to make that super big. This is not, by the way, fantastic design, but this is what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm doing what's different. And I got that. Okay. And I think I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to have to make that box a little bigger. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the box that's around it, the underline box. So I clicked that. And then I'm going to click the color. And then I'm going to do brand color yellow. Okay. And then this doesn't look great. It's hard to see. It would be fine if this whole thing was dark blue and this was yellow, but the light blue, it doesn't really work. So I'm going to go back up here, do that. I think maybe I'll make my question mark the yellow because that question mark is bigger. And this is my, not great, but at least neat, at least kind of put together well. I've added a tiny bit of interest by the shadow, a tiny bit of interest by doing the question mark in an accent color. There we go. All right. So to share, so instead of exporting or saving, Canva asks us to share. So I'm going to click this and then I'm going to download it. And I'm going to keep it as a ping. And I'm going to, I do not want to compress it. I want to have it as high quality as possible. If I move it here, it'll be higher quality. So, 21 by 60 by 2060 is fine. I'm going to probably keep it as a ping, and then I'm going to download it. And that's what I'm going to share. You, of course, are using your own photos.